At the wedding ceremony with Paige, he never showed up. Instead, someone brought a dirty and stinky stray dog to join me in the wedding rituals. The dog rushed forward and torn my wedding dress to pieces. I covered my chest in pain, while all the guests laughed at me. At that moment, Paige called me through a video call. He was holding my best friend and making love to her. Wen Yan, do you still like this grand wedding gift? You fake. You should have given way to someone else long ago. Only half a year ago did I learn that my best friend was actually the real daughter of the Wen family. Without crying or making a fuss, I smiled at the camera. Have fun tonight. I'll wait for you to come back. Come back, and get divorced. I'm packing up my wedding room. Paige has returned. His collar is open, and he looks slightly drunk. In the past, I always loved his casual yet stylish appearance. I've loved him for almost 20 years. Now, his neck is covered with bright red strawberry marks, but I don't care at all. He holds his hands in his pockets and looks at me with a mocking expression. To your husband, are you satisfied? He expects me to be angry, hysterical, like always. But instead, I take out a document from my bag and hand it to him. My voice is calm. Divorce agreement. Sign it. I'll leave with nothing. There's a hint of surprise in Paige's mocking gaze. The next moment, he stops laughing and grips my wrists tightly. Wen Yan, how can you not be angry? Why not? I try to break free from his grip, resisting his touch. He's completely dirty now. When Yining sent me the video of their chaotic behavior, on the day of the proposal, I opened the gift box with surprise, only to find a dozen dead mice inside. While he and his friends talked, completely ignoring the scars on my body. At that moment, I decided to give up on him. The wedding was simply a result of Pei's coercion and manipulation. If I didn't go through with the ceremony, it would damage the reputations and businesses of both our families. The Pei family had plenty of ways to get me into trouble. Now that the wedding has been ruined by Paige, I feel relieved. I held my swollen wrists tightly, then said calmly, the agreement clearly states that I will not accept the RV jewelry and the large sum of money you gave me before marriage. I will also issue a statement to clarify that it's Yining and you who are the ones who arranged the arranged marriage. I will return the RV to her. Paige's eyes filled with rage, but it disappeared quickly. He smiled faintly while tearing up the divorce agreement into pieces. Well then, Wen Yan, at least you showed some backbone. Ning has endured so much pain over the years, while you, who were always in my care, your repayment over these past half years is simply not enough. I ignored his crazy words. I picked up my suitcase and was about to leave. But when I opened the door, I saw a whole line of bodyguards standing at the entrance. No matter what I ordered them to do, they remained silent and motionless. Behind me, Paige sneered. Wife, tonight is your wedding night. How can you, a protagonist, leave now? I closed my eyes and turned to look at him. Tell me, what do you want so that I can sign the divorce agreement? Paige picked up a rose petal from the bed and smiled mischievously as he walked towards me. He grabbed my chin, his voice filled with anger. Make me and Ning happy. Once that's done, you can leave at any time. My voice came out through the gaps between my teeth. How do I get them to cooperate? Paige let go of his hand, laughing heartily. Let's start by getting them to sleep. At that moment, Yining walked in from outside. She was wearing a semi-transparent pajamas, and her scent of perfume was very strong. She walked up to me and smiled smugly. Wen Yan, everything that belongs to me cannot be taken away by you. But over the past 10 years, she has been my best friend. And I even saved her life. Now that she has accepted the Wen family again, she completely ignores all the feelings we once had for each other. After saying that, Yining rushed over to kiss Paige. They kissed passionately, and their breathing was so loud that it hurt my ears. As Yining bent down and tried to kiss Paige hard, he let out sounds of both pain and joy. Wen Yan, you must watch everything. Learn from Yining how to win my favor. If you miss even 1 second, this marriage will not be dissolved. Yining likes the strawberry-flavored package. Come on, put it on me. My blood rushed to my head. I tried my best to open the door, but it was impossible. The door was locked from the outside by the bodyguards. I rushed into the bathroom and locked myself inside. The locked door couldn't suppress the chaotic sounds coming from the room. I slumped down on the ground, utterly exhausted. Since half a year ago, when the Wen family recognized Yining as their own daughter, Paige seemed like a completely different person. Our engagement was arranged by our ancestors. Page Ye treated me like his own child. He couldn't bear to see me suffer any harm. After I was adopted into the Wen family, whenever Wen's mother became ill, she would either beat me or scold me. No one intervened, until she finally fell asleep from exhaustion. Soon, Page Ye would rush into the Wen house, smashing things and cursing everyone in his anger. No one dared to challenge the young master of the Wen family. He hated every member of the Wen family. Every time, it was Page Ye who took me to the hospital. He was beaten by Pei's father many times, with bruises all over his body, yet he never said a word. Every time he saw my wounds, his eyes would turn red with anger. Page Ye suggested that I be adopted back by the Pei family. However, the Wen family refused to let me go, and the Pei family also didn't support the idea. Page Ye called the police countless times, but all his efforts were in vain. After all, Wen's mother became mentally unstable after losing her daughter. Often, after the police left, I would be beaten even more severely. It was during these days of suffering that I reached the age of 18. Finally, Page Ye used his pocket money to buy me a house, the same house where we live now, our wedding house. On the first day I moved in, Page Ye looked excited, with tears in his eyes. Nyen Nyen, we finally have our own home. From now on, no one will dare to bully you anymore. We will live here for a lifetime, have children, and raise them. Page Ye was the light in my dark life. That light disappeared half a year ago. Now, at the age of 18, I look forward to my wedding day. They are making plans for the future. I looked through my phone's contact list several times, wondering who I should call for help. In the past 20 years, the two people who have been most important in my life are just within one wall of distance from me, enjoying their new wedding night. They were arguing for a long time until the door to the bathroom suddenly opened from the outside. Page Ye looked down on me with a satisfied expression. Ning Ning is exhausted. Today is her birthday. Go ahead. Prepare 10 dishes for her. You must finish them before midnight. He forgot that today is also my birthday. It was he who decided the wedding date, wanting to celebrate it on my birthday. Last year, he even organized a very extravagant celebration for my birthday. But this year, everything has changed. My legs are numb from squatting, and I have to hold onto the wall to stay steady. Page Ye, you know I can't cook. He didn't even look at me. Then he said, that's your own problem. If you want a divorce, you have to listen to me. Soon, 2 bodyguards came in and dragged me into the kitchen. Looking at the table full of ingredients, I didn't know where to start. It was already nearly 10 o'clock. So I immediately picked up my phone and began searching for recipes online. I thought about calling the police to find out more about the power of the Pei family, but I gave up that idea. By the time I finished making 10 dishes, I wanted Page Ye to sign the divorce agreement. As the clock struck 12, something suddenly happened. Yi Ning angrily threw all the 9 dishes I had made onto the floor. She scolded me. Wen Nyen, are you a fool? How could you not finish 10 dishes in such a short time? Look at what you've made. It's completely unacceptable. Even dogs wouldn't eat such food. I stared at my hands covered with blisters, feeling furious. For over 10 years, I always secretly gave her pocket money. Whatever she liked, I always gave it to her. Whenever she was bullied by her classmates, it was always me who stood up for her. It's because we share the same background. At the age of 19, she was bullied by a few bullies. I stepped forward to help her, but she managed to get away from me. Later, she cried and said to me, Nyen Nyen, we should be together for a lifetime. You are like my own sister. But after returning to the Wen family, she immediately broke off all relations with me and with Page Ye as well. They tried every possible way to torment me because the marriage certificate was issued too early. At that moment, Yi Ning walked into the kitchen. She looked at me with a victorious expression. Today's wedding night was truly perfect. Jia said he had never been so satisfied before. Wen Nyen, what you can't give, I can give. I ignored her and put down the spatula in my hand. Since 10 dishes couldn't be completed, it was better to give up. Yi Ning immediately lost her smile. Looking at the steaming steak, she snorted coldly. Sister, the time has passed. This last dish needs something extra added. Hey, Yi Ning, stop doing that. Put your hand down. What are you making noise about? At that moment, a lazy and impatient voice came from the kitchen door. Page Ye. Yi Ning suddenly let go of my hand and rushed over to kiss Page Ye on the neck. She was so excited that she couldn't speak properly. Honey, my sister can't cook at all. She hurt her hand with the hot pan. She's really careless. My left hand was burned and covered in blisters. I kept washing it under the tap. But the pain didn't lessen at all. Page Ye grabbed Yi Ning's hand and asked worriedly, "Is your hand okay?" Yi Ning smiled sweetly. "It's fine. Honey. Don't worry. Just, maybe my sister has some complaints about me, and she has thrown all the cooked dishes onto the floor. It's okay. She's always been a bit temperamental. I don't blame her. Let's go out and eat something for dinner." Page Ye didn't even look at me before leaving, holding Yi Ning in his arms. After a while, a bodyguard entered the kitchen and placed a bandage on the countertop. "Miss Wen, please apply the medicine as soon as possible." He hesitated for a moment before saying, "Actually, young Master Pei still cares about you." I was so in pain that I couldn't feel any emotions anymore. I looked at him, almost begging for mercy. "Can you let me go?" The bodyguard became serious immediately. "Miss Wen, young Master Pei has given instructions. You must stay here and not go anywhere." After saying that, he turned around and left. Despair overwhelmed me. I applied the medicine and locked myself in the guest room. After all this turmoil, I got a fever and fell into a deep sleep. For several days straight, Page Ye and Yi Ning didn't return. I kept calling and texting Page Ye, asking him to come back and sign the divorce agreement with me, or at least let me leave. But he didn't answer my calls or respond to my messages. During that time, I took fever-reducing medication, but my symptoms didn't improve at all. The fever kept recurring. One late night, the door to the guest room was broken open from the outside. Page Ye suddenly pulled me up from the bed. "Come with me." "Where are we going?" Page Ye had a dark expression on his face, and he didn't answer my question at all. It took some time for me to calm my mind, and then I realized that we were already on a private plane. I had no idea where he was planning to take me. 3 hours later, the plane circled around a mountainous area. Page Ye spoke in a cold tone. "Ningning has a fever. She's not getting better. You should go down there and pick the flowers from the underworld to help her recover." "I'll pick them. Then we'll be done with each other. I'll let you go." "But the flowers from the underworld live in the wilderness, in extremely harsh conditions, and there are wild animals around. If I go down there, I might never come back." I glanced at Page Ye. The man who once captivated me with just one look now seemed so unfamiliar that I wanted to leave as soon as possible. My whole body still felt hot, and the wound on my left hand felt like thousands of insects were biting me, causing both pain and itching. I didn't care about those things anymore. I smiled. "Page Ye, goodbye." With that, I walked towards the open door of the plane. "Stop!" Page Ye called out from behind me, then threw me a down jacket. "Put it on. Don't freeze to death in the mountains. It's best for you to bring flowers with you when you come back." I didn't wear anything, so I quickly put on the safety rope and jumped off the plane. The sound of air currents hitting my ears echoed around me. It seemed like Page Ye was calling out to me with concern. "Nyen Nyen. It must be my imagination." I closed my eyes. "Page Ye, this time, regardless of life or death, let me repay the kindness you've shown to me over the past 10 years. Soon, the length of the rope reached its end. And then, I fell onto a cliff. The impact broke my forehead, and blood flowed down in a stream. I clung tightly to the rock. Due to the excessive force, the wound on my left hand burst open, and gauze became soaked with blood. I couldn't care about the pain at all. All my strength was focused on my left hand. As I used my right hand to grab the phone from my pocket, I wanted to call Page Ye, asking him to extend the rope a little more. But before I could even make the call, messages from Yi Ning kept popping up in my mind. "Wen Nian, today is your day of death. I've got Pei's bodyguards on my side. You'll definitely end up on the cliff. The rope is about to break, and you'll fall down and die miserably. Then those little creatures in the forest can have you. In this way, neither the Wen family nor Page Ye will be able to find you. Everything that belongs to you will now be mine. Only this way can you truly disappear from Page Ye's memory forever. By the way, the group of bullies from when I was 19 years old, I was the one who found them." I stared at these words in horror. I could hear the sound of the rope breaking slowly, until it completely broke. I put the phone back into my pocket, my hands gripping the rock tightly, until I couldn't hold on anymore. I let go. The entire body fell down from the cliff. The sound of the wind echoed in my ears once more. All of the memories I had with Page Ye played in my mind like a movie. Over the past 20 years, he brought me the greatest happiness, but also the greatest pain. If there is another life, I don't want to see him again. 2 hours passed, but the safety rope showed no signs of movement. Page Ya was pacing anxiously inside the cockpit. Exhausted by patience, he ordered his bodyguards to act. Why is Wen Nian so slow? Get her up here. The bodyguards rushed to pull the rope, but they seemed to see a ghost. Pei, young Master Pei, the rope is broken. What they pulled up was just a broken rope. In an instant, Page Ye's face turned pale, devoid of any color. He rushed to the door of the cockpit and shouted down, "Nian Nian." As he was about to jump down, he was stopped by the bodyguards. Young Master Pei, jumping down will mean death. There are wild animals in the forest. Page Ye fell to the ground. If there are wild animals, then his Nian Nian must be dead. Page Ye shouted at the bodyguards. Get out. All of you, get out and search. The bodyguards trembled with fear. Mr. Pei, there are no more safety ropes. Page Ye punched the bodyguard hard. Go get some. The private plane flew back at high speed. Page Ye brought over 10 bodyguards and several safety ropes. Just as he was about to get on the plane again, his phone rang. Yi Ning's weak voice came through the phone. Honey, I feel so bad. Can you come and stay with me for a while? Page Ye stopped in his tracks. Yes. Yi Ning should be his true wife. Wen Nian was just a fake wife. How could he still worry about her safety? When Yi Ning was 4 years old, she lost her way just to save him. Otherwise, she wouldn't have had to suffer for so many years. Page Ye thought to himself that he would definitely treat Yi Ning well for the rest of his life. As for Wen Nian, well, as long as she could come back alive, he would immediately sign the divorce papers and let her go. Page Ye ordered the bodyguards with a frustrated tone. We must find Wen Nian. Otherwise, none of you should come back. The private plane took off, and Page Ye drove towards the hospital. In the hospital room, Yi Ning's face was pale and weak. She clung to Page Ye's neck, refusing to let go. Honey, that old Chinese doctor said that the flower from the underworld could cure my illness. Did we really be deceived? Although sisters studied botany in college, finding such a flower is too dangerous. You should call her back. Page Ye was restless. Yi Ning was still as kind as when she was young. Wen Nian was now in a desperate state. He felt uneasy about her. He told Yi Ning to rest for a while. You rest for now. I'll handle some business matters at the company. I won't leave. I'll stay with you here. He sat down on the sofa, quickly turned on the computer, and frowned upon seeing the messages sent by the bodyguards. The bodyguards constantly reported back to him about the progress of the search for Wen Nian, but there was no progress at all. 5 or 6 of the bodyguards were even bitten by wild animals. Page Ye became increasingly frustrated. On the day he set off, when he woke up Wen Nian, he could feel her body being extremely hot. He also saw that her left hand was covered with bandages, but he still forced her to go look for the flower from the underworld. After all, only Wen Nian knew the habits and whereabouts of that flower. Page Ye felt a surge of anger inside him, but he couldn't express it. He was angry because why wasn't Wen Nian actually the real daughter of the Wen family? Why did he now have to owe Yi Ning such a large debt, with the rest of his life to pay back for it? For several days, Page Ye stayed by the hospital. His body was there, but his thoughts were already in the primeval forest. He wanted to wait until Yi Ning recovered, and then he would go find Wen Nian himself. 2 days later, the bodyguard sent a message saying that Wen Nian's medical records had been found in a local hospital. They even sent her photo. The patient was lifted from the stretcher, wearing exactly the same clothes as Wen Nian. Their physiques were also very similar. Page Ye exhaled deeply. Wen Nian wasn't dead. He could finally rest in peace. When she is discharged from the hospital, he will definitely go to see her personally, along with the signed divorce agreement. On this day, the Wen and Pei families came to the hospital to visit Yi Ning. The atmosphere in the hospital room was pleasant and warm. Since Yi Ning accepted the Wen family back, Wen's mother has never fallen ill again. Now, both families' parents began to discuss the marriage between Page Ye and Yi Ning. Page Ye was very irritable. The elders treated Wen Nian as if he didn't exist at all. They didn't mention anything about the fact that Page Ye and Wen Nian were still unmarried. After nearly 20 years of being together, Page Ye was used to having Wen Nian by his side. He was used to the fact that only Wen Nian could comfort him when he was in a bad mood. He even got used to sleeping only with Wen Nian by his side every night, so that he could have a good night's sleep. But now, Wen Nian was seriously injured. and the presence of Wen Nian in his life became increasingly distant. Pei Jia felt like a void without Wen Nian by his side. He found an excuse to go out and smoke. In the fire escape, while Pei Jia was about to smoke, he saw a sign posted on the wall, warning against smoking. He put the cigarette that was close to his lips back into his pocket. He remembered the day of his birthday last year, when he tried every means possible to get Wen Nian to have a child with him. Wen Nian blushed and said that she needed to quit smoking first. Without saying a word, he leaned down and kissed her. No one knew how well they matched each other. Every time, Wen Nian managed to drive him crazy. She brought him the greatest happiness that one could ever experience. After that incident, he complied and quit smoking for half a year. Since Yi Ning returned, his addiction on cigarettes only grew stronger. He took out his phone, ready to call someone to get photos of Wen Nian sent to him by the bodyguard who was waiting for her in the hospital. The desire to see her was overwhelming for him. Before he could even dial the number, the sound of two women talking came from the stairs. Wen Nian really has a great fate. Her parents and in-laws visit her every day. Her husband isn't only wealthy, but also very handsome. She lives in our hospital, and even the director comes to check on her every day. I heard that she went through a lot of hardships in the past. But she's really strange. There wasn't any serious illness. Yet she was caught by the nurse taking a cold shower in secret, which made her catch a cold again. I don't think she's at all like Wen Dong or his wife. She looks more like the previous one, with similar features. Pei Jia didn't hear the rest of the words. An idea flashed through his mind. Uncontrollably, his hands trembled slightly. He pushed open the security door and walked towards the ward. As soon as he entered the ward, he saw Pei's mother putting a family heirloom bracelet on Yi Ning's wrist. The two families got along very well. When Pei Jia entered, Pei's father said with a smile, "When Ning Ning is discharged from the hospital, you can get married. The date has been set. Now that we're all old, we just want to hold our grandchildren in our arms. You all need to work harder." After saying that, everyone laughed. Yi Ning smiled as she looked at Pei Jia. "As long as my husband wants to, I'm willing to have as many children as he wants." Pei Jia's smile was not visible in his eyes. He walked straight to Yi Ning's bed and rubbed her head. "It's up to you." Both of their parents were satisfied with the affection between the young couple. Pei Jia smiled and stood up, saying to Wen's parents, "Uncle and aunt, let's come out for a moment. I have something to say." The three of them quickly left the hospital room. Without saying a word, Pei Jia took the two of them to the blood drawing station. Wen's mother was shocked. "What are you going to do?" Pei Jia spoke calmly. "I'll give you a simple medical checkup." Soon, the two people had their blood drawn. Pei Jia said with a calm tone, "You can go back and take care of Ning Ning. The other tests will be arranged later." Wen's parents looked suspicious, but they didn't dare ask any further questions. That year, because Wen Nian was constantly abused, Pei Jia almost used extreme measures to destroy the Wen family. But in the end, it was Wen Nian who managed to persuade them to keep the family together through gentle persuasion. Pei Jia never returned to the hospital room again. He took the hair strands of Wen Nian, which he had always carried with him in his inner pocket, along with 2 vials of blood he had drawn, as well as the hair strands he had obtained from Yi Ning earlier, and handed them over to the doctor. He couldn't rest until he saw the results of the tests. Even Pei Jia, who was usually so calm and fearless, couldn't stop shaking when he got the results. In the past 6 months, he had done something foolish to Wen Nian. He was glad that Wen Nian was the one who saved him. Wen Nian was truly the precious daughter of the Wen family, and he had examined her thoroughly, from head to toe. Yi Ning recovered quickly and was able to be discharged from the hospital. The wedding took place as scheduled. The wedding banquet was a grand event, with all relatives of both families present. Even important employees from the Wen and Pei families were invited to attend. They all wanted to witness this important moment. However, a strong sense of sorrow filled Pei Jia's heart, causing him to feel pain in his chest. He covered his chest with his hands. At that moment, he realized how disappointed Wen Nian must have been at that wedding. Neither the Wen nor Pei families had anyone come to attend the wedding banquet. Instead, temporary actors were invited. Moreover, Wen Nian not only failed to arrive, but he even brought a stray dog to humiliate Yi Ning, all because Yi Ning had provided him with evidence. As early as 19 years ago, Wen Nian had already seduced a little troublemaker, losing his chastity. At that moment, Pei Jia was completely furious. The people he had supported for 20 years. Those he couldn't bear to see suffer even a little bit. Those whom he had endured until he was on the verge of exploding. He actually gave them away before they even had a chance to use them. What did he really mean to her? All he wanted was to see her crying and begging him to forgive her. As long as she was sincere, he would forgive her. No, he had already forgiven her. Wen Yan never hid anything from him. There must be reasons why she avoided talking about that incident. In a few days, he would definitely talk to her face to face. Everything that happened in the past was unimportant. What matters is their future together. The enthusiastic opening speech of the host pulled Page Ye back to reality. He looked at the media representatives who had been brought here, as well as the cameras and microphones set up, with an increasingly sharp gaze. Why are you still standing there? Get on stage quickly. Behind him, Pei's mother smiled and urged him to go. By the way, she also reminded him again. I guess Wen Yan doesn't have the courage to cause trouble. Let's get the divorce papers finalized as soon as the wedding is over. From now on, Ning Ning will be your wife. Page Ye didn't respond, but stepped onto the stage. Yi Ning wore a pure white wedding dress, looking at Page Ye with a face full of happiness and admiration. The host was still arranging the proceedings, but Page Ye didn't cooperate at all. He picked up the microphone and spoke to the hundreds of guests who had already gathered. Ladies and gentlemen, I have something much more important to announce today. There was murmuring among the guests. Pei's mother anxiously urged him to stop. Jia, what are you doing? Don't delay the time. Pei Jia ignored her, and gestured for his trusted followers to follow him. Soon, 2 DNA test results appeared on the huge screen behind him. The people present looked at each other, and the discussions were so intense that it seemed like the roof of the building might collapse. Pei Jia said, "It's perfect. Since all the media in the city are here, Wen Yan is the real daughter of the Wen family. Yi Ning, on the other hand, is a fake one." What? Everyone was shocked. 3 months ago, the Wen family held a press conference to announce that Yi Ning was the real daughter of the Wen family, which had been lost over a decade ago. DNA tests confirmed this fact. Wen's father stood up, clearly dissatisfied. Pei Xiao, what do you mean by this? Yi Ning's bouquet of flowers fell onto the ground, and her voice trembled. I am the real daughter. I am the real one. Pei Jia snorted coldly, then ordered a trusted man to bring someone onto the stage. Yi Ning's face turned pale instantly. That man was trembling all over, and he knelt down in front of Pei Jia. He cried bitterly, pointing at Yi Ning and accusing her. It's her. She said that no matter who tested her DNA with the Wen families, they would use Yi Ning's hair for the test. She said that as long as I cooperated, once she became the real daughter of the Wen family, she would ensure my lifelong wealth and prosperity. Pei Jia's face turned dark in an instant. That man had only been caught 10 minutes ago. So, Yi Ning had known from the beginning that Wen Yan was actually the real daughter of the Wen family. He rushed forward, grabbing Yi Ning by the neck, almost breaking her neck in the process. Yi Ning was shocked and turned her eyes around. Pei Jia let go of her, and Yi Ning fell to the ground. Suddenly, she laughed loudly. Yes, that's right. That bitch Wen Yan is the real daughter of the Wen family. But she's already dead. Ha ha ha. You brought her onto the plane and killed her yourself. Pei Jia stepped onto her neck, speaking with cruelty. So, you know everything. At that moment, he wanted to kill Yi Ning. He hated himself even more. He thought he was the person who loved Wen Yan the most in the world, but he was so careless as to not realize that Wen Yan shared the same traits as her father and mother. What happened to Wen Yan now was caused by him. Yi Ning hugged Pei Jia's feet, filled with madness just before death. Yes, I know everything. That traditional Chinese medicine practitioner was also someone I hired, and the bodyguards you brought along were also arranged by me. Otherwise, Wen Yan wouldn't have died so quickly. Why? Why should I be like her? Also born in an orphanage, she was adopted by the Wen family, even though she was her own parents. And I, every day, was beaten to death by my adoptive parents. I could only dream about what she went through. But even if she hadn't died, you still would have ruined her life like this. Pei Jia, you and her will never be together in this life. Ha ha ha. Pei Jia clenched his lips tightly, stepping with even more force. It was seen clearly that Yi Ning was foaming at the mouth. Pei's mother panicked and rushed over, gripping Pei Jia's arm tightly. What are you doing? There's so much media attention around here. Do you really think you can commit a crime right here? Pei Jia loosened his grip, Yi Ning continued to convulse, completely writhing in pain. It was so disgusting that Pei Jia felt nauseated. He ordered his trusted men to take her away, along with all those who betrayed him. I have only one request. Better death than living. The scene became chaotic. The cries of Wen's mother could be heard clearly. Nian Nian. My child. Mom is sorry. She cried so hard that she could hardly breathe, and soon passed out. Wen's father fell onto the chair, and his subordinate quickly gave him a quick-acting heart-saving pill. He kept murmuring, Nian Nian. It's all our fault. In just 2 minutes, the media spread the news about this incident. The hot search topic became immediately popular. The stock prices of the Wen and Pei families are starting to fluctuate, and dozens of agreements worth hundreds of millions are about to be terminated. Pei Jia looked at this result, his eyes burning with anger. He said to Wen Nian, Nian Nian, I've avenged you. I won't let any of those who hurt you go unpunished. There's one person who hurt you the most, and that person is me. Wait for me. I will atone for my sins. Pei Jia didn't want to delay any longer. He rushed out of the wedding banquet and rushed into his car. He needed to find Wen Nian immediately. In the past few days, he had found evidence. The photo of Wen Nian being carried off the stretcher was fake. The story of her being violated at the age of 19 was also a lie. Fortunately, Wen Nian was saved by someone else at that time. She didn't want him to worry, and she had promised Yi Ning that this matter should remain secret. Those bullies were actually arranged by Yi Ning. She had wanted to harm Wen Nian for a long time. Over the years, Yi Ning had done many things that hurt Wen Nian. Yi Ning, even if she died 10 times, it wouldn't be a shame. But he thought he knew Wen Nian best. Yet he never protected her at all. Instead, he even caused her even more harm. A video was soon sent by his trusted follower. On a cruise ship in international waters, Yi Ning and those traitors were hanging upside down above the sea. Below them, there were sharks that couldn't wait any longer to attack. Hearing their screams, Pei Jia's eyes flashed with a dangerous smile. Pei Jia brought hundreds of people into the primeval forest, all of whom were highly skilled bodyguards. After more than 10 days passed, they searched the area surrounding the place where Wen Nian fell countless times, but found nothing. The air in the forest was humid, filled with the stench of rotting blood. It was extremely cold at night. Pei Jia remembered how Wen Nian fell down, suffering from fever and exhaustion. Even if he wasn't eaten by wild animals, he would surely die from the cold. Thinking about this, he felt a sharp pain in his heart. He ordered, continue the search. He didn't dare to waste a single moment. Even though he had already sent people to search since he learned the truth, there was no result. He still held out a glimmer of hope, hoping that he might find even a tiny clue. He wanted to see the person alive, and the body dead. During this time, Pei's mother called him. She, who was always proud, cried loudly on the phone. She said that the Wen family would soon fall apart. Wen's mother ended up in a mental hospital, becoming a complete mental patient. Wen's father aged dozens of years in just one night. He was so devastated that he could no longer take care of himself. Pei Jia remembered how Wen Nian was beaten countless times before she turned 18. Wen's mother would beat him while laughing. Wen's father would just watch silently, acquiescing to everything. That was what they deserved. Pei's mother continued, Ah Jia, how can you be so heartless? When you learned the truth, you should have told us. There's always a way to communicate properly. After all, this is a matter between our two families. Why do you insist on making a scene so that everyone will know about it? Our Pei family's financial situation is about to collapse. Would you like to take over the business? Your father isn't in good health either. He's almost unable to handle anything anymore. If you really want to, Mom can find you a better woman. It's not that difficult to find someone who looks like Wen Nian. Pei Jia gritted his teeth tightly. Do you really think that being together is a waste of time, right? In your eyes, relationships don't matter at all. Business and wealth are more important. You don't care who I marry with. All that matters is that the marriage can bring more wealth and glory. Let me tell you, I'm not yet divorced from Wen Nian. She's still my wife. My wife is missing, and I'll keep searching for her until I find her. After saying that, Pei Jia hung up the phone, and also blocked those numbers that kept him troubled. He came from the Pei family, a family that values profit over relationships. Therefore, he really wanted to have a happy and harmonious family with Wen Nian when he grew up. But now, that dream is about to be shattered by him himself. It was still a day without any gains. Pei Jia said fiercely, I'll go through the same path Wen Nian walked. He got on his private plane, attached the safety rope, and jumped off the plane right there. It was the same place where Wen Nian jumped off the plane before, and he fell headfirst onto the cliff. His forehead was broken, blood flowing down incessantly. Sharp rocks cut through his palms, revealing the pink flesh inside. The pain was so intense that he broke into a cold sweat. Page Ye's heart ached again. Even the needle puncture was too painful for Wen Nian. How painful that day must have been. The rope soon began to break with loud sounds. When all his strength was gone, Page Ye let go and fell straight down. At the moment he lost consciousness, he heard the cry of a wild animal nearby. Page Ye smiled. If he could die in the place where he spent time with Wen Nian, then his life would be considered complete. The rain outside was getting heavier, and people were running around in all directions. I didn't even notice that someone had entered the store. I was still working with Su Shua on designing baby clothes and baby rooms. Suddenly, a tense and dry voice called out from behind me. Nayani. I turned around. It was Page Ye. It had been 3 years since we last saw each other. He no longer had that energetic and fearless spirit he once had. He looked very old and worn out, with tears in his eyes. When he saw me, his eyes filled with surprise. He dropped his cane and rushed towards me, hugging me tightly, his voice choked with emotion. Nayani, thank God, you're still alive. Do you know, you're the real daughter of the Wen family. You're the one for whom I had a marriage contract. Yi Ning. She is in a worse state than she was before. I've avenged you. I want to tell you that nothing really happened between me and Yi Ning. Everything she sent you was already altered. Nian Nian, let's be back together again. I'd be willing to spend the rest of my life to earn your forgiveness. Let go. With a furious shout, someone forcefully separated us two. It was Su Shua. He clenched his fists tightly and punched Page Ye in the face. You're trying to kill me. Page Ye stepped back and fell to the ground. His leg was seriously injured, and he couldn't stand up. I took a step forward, then stopped again, watching him struggle on the ground. Page Ye gave a bitter smile. I'm really pitiful and ridiculous, isn't that right? Su Shua glared at Page Ye. A Shu is my wife. Not what you call Nian Nian. We already have a child. Don't you see that we're discussing how to decorate the baby room? Page Ye looked at me with pain in his eyes. Nian Nian, is everything he said true? My voice was calm. Sir, if you came here to buy flowers, I welcome you. If you came here to cause trouble, then please leave. My name isn't Nian Nian. I'm Su Shu. You've got the wrong person. No. Page Ye let out a heart-wrenching roar. Nian Nian, you can hate me, but you can't deny who I am. Remember, we're not yet divorced. Su Shua stepped forward, ready to kick Page Ye. I stopped him. Sir, if you're here to cause trouble, I'll have to call the police. Please remember that everything in the past is over, and there's no need to try to fix anything anymore. At that moment, several bodyguards rushed in, helping Page Ye up. He almost lost his balance, and his eyes were filled with desperation as he looked at me. Nian Nian, I won't let go. We're not divorced yet. You'll always be my wife. Soon, the tranquility returned to the flower shop. Su Shua handed me a cup of warm water. I recognized him right away when he came in. I really wanted to kill him right then. Are you okay now? Does the incident from back then still bother you? I smiled as I looked at him. Brother, I've survived a near-death experience before. How can I still be haunted by those memories? At any time, life is the most important thing. When I fell from the cliff, it was Su Shu who rescued me from the forest and took me to the hospital. I was saved, and the Su family took me in. From then on, I became Su Shu. He invested money in my flower shop. Over time, Su Shu developed feelings for me, but there was always a girl who loved him passionately. In the end, I managed to arrange their marriage. My sister-in-law became pregnant. Just now, we were discussing the gender of the child and the decoration of the baby room. Now, with the business experience I gained from living with the Wen family, my flower shop's profits are enough to support the entire Su family, and there's even some extra income. This is the lifestyle I love the most right now. After that day, Page Ye never set foot in my flower shop again. Soon after, the store across from me was taken over by someone else. But they didn't do any business there. No one has ever seen the owner. But I often feel like there's a pair of eyes watching me from across the street, filled with hope and longing. End of text.